to adjust the camera a little bit. Doing a hangout this morning. So if anybody wants to join in, good morning, Ed. If anybody wants to join in with me, let me know. Send me a DM on Twitter. I'll send you an invite. That way. I don't want to put the hangout thing in the chat because I don't want trolls. So anybody wants to join, send me a DM on Twitter or something, and we'll make it happen. Everybody hear me and see me okay? This will be the first time doing a official stream, not just a testing stream in the Hangout format. Oh, how's everybody doing this morning? Morning, Minnesota Maker. So yesterday was a big day in the community for our good buddy Walter. He hit 1,000 subscribers, and as we know, he's already over the necessary view time for monetization. So that means he's got the viewer count, the view time, and he's now got the subtotal necessary for monetization. So hopefully YouTube will review that and get him monetized quickly. Good morning, Don. Good morning, Red Light. So yeah, hopefully YouTube will review that quickly and get him monetized, and good for him. I'm really happy for him. So something a little different this morning. I did start a Google Hangout style stream instead of regular stream. So if somebody wants to join in, you got some questions in Blender or you want to model some stuff together, then let me know. Send me a DM on Twitter and let me know on the chat that you did so, and I will send you an invite. So we're going to be working in Blender today. I do have some progress to share on the functional VSV as well. It is it's all been printed. I reprinted some stuff and haven't glued things together because I had some issues. But as you can see, we have steering. This isn't glued together yet. So we have steering and we have suspension. Had to reprint some stuff. I broke some stuff while trying to assemble it. Oh. Morning, Mike. Yeah, so I broke some stuff while trying to assemble it and had to reprint some things. But, and I'll have to peel some of the old glue off before I re-glue. So fun. Is the stream looking okay? Is everything functioning as need be? Neighbor using my driveway to turn around. I'm like, who's pulling into my driveway? It's my neighbor. His big old diesel truck that he can't turn around anywhere else, I guess. Morning, Roy. How's your Jeep print coming? All my parts are printed. I haven't glued it together yet because I had to reprint some stuff. I broke a spring while trying to assemble, while trying to get the wheel to press over the axle. So, advice for anybody else that decides to print the functional VSV: don't glue the axle to the frame and the springs until after you put the wheels and tires on. Good morning, D. Because I broke a spring while trying to get the wheel on. Oh, still waiting for the grill. Yeah, I never got a chance to get around to that yesterday, so maybe we'll do that this morning. You can just print the grill in single pieces and glue it together. That's how I did mine. and this piece and the two headlights. The headlights I think took 6 minutes, and I think this took 5. The grill shell takes the longest. This requires a little gluing. Oh, it's having a little bit of a. Well, I know you have an MMU2, and that's awesome. I'm glad you have an MMU2. Just saying, if you were in a hurry, you could just do it the way I did. It requires some gluing, but you'd be done. So yeah, congratulations to Walter. Big congrats. I believe I was his 26th subscriber, all the way back in the video where he unboxed his Mark III. So to see him go from that all the way to over 1,000 now is fantastic. So very happy for him. Yeah, migraines are no fun, D. Sorry you had to deal with that, buddy. Morning, Al. So yeah, we're hanging out this morning, chatting. Once again, if somebody wants to join in and model some stuff with me, the option is there. Yeah, I forget who even referenced me to Walter. I was watching somebody's live stream, and they said Walter at Country 3D is unboxing his Mark III today, and I went, "Who's Walter? And what's Country 3D?" And they sent me a link to his channel, and I went over there and watched him unbox his Mark III. And that was back when his lighting was still bad, his camera angles were still bad. It was a totally different experience. But Walter himself was just such a infectious personality that I hung around and subbed to him, and then I watched his videos of his live stream of putting the Mark III together, and just kind of hanging out. And I was right around the same time that I started this channel. And so you know I started this channel. He had like 26 subscribers. When I started, I have 156 now, and he has 1,000. That's awesome. I mean, he has grown so quickly, and a lot of that was his 3D printed printer when he took it to Murph. That kind of set his channel off. And it's awesome. I haven't found that killer thing to bring people to the channel yet, but you know it'll happen. Maybe. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'll keep doing what I do, because I love hanging with you guys, and I love modeling stuff. Yeah, and Chris made a shout out for him to help get him to the final push. But um Joel Telling and Tom Sandlatterer, they visited his 3D printed printer, and shared some stuff with it on their channels and whatnot back when he took it to Murph. Um, I guess, but not quite last year, but last Murph, and and things just went off like gangbusters for him. It's really cool. All right, so let's see here. Let's minimize that because I can see that over here. And let's get Blender open. I guess I need to make a screen share version for Hangouts that doesn't have all the other stuff. Oh well, I'll remember to do that next time. Zimmy, you made it this morning. How you doing, man? I know you sent me a message that you kept missing them, so glad you're here. D&D table with an LCD in the center for the DM to display the map. Very cool. Yeah, Joe will wanna see videos on that and maybe build one of his own. Which we gotta play some more D&D at some point, Joe. That was fun, man. I was looking last night. We haven't done that since back in October. I entered I entered a couple 3D printer giveaways, one last night and one today. Don't know if they turn out to be anything, but can't win if you don't enter. So thought I might as well. Cool, man. Well, if I'm available, I'll join in. Yeah, I think that's the one I entered this morning, Rover. All 3DP. Giving away an Ender 3 Pro and a CR10S. Let me check. Let me check messages. Cool. Yeah. Let me grab that for you. Da-da-da. Fight people. Here you go, Ed. Go back to OBS. Go to the screen share. So, yep, Ed got your message and sent you the link. I'm still working in 2.79b because 2.8 and this computer don't get along. 2.8 and this computer don't get along. Oh, did we get Ed?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep. My first indication was I could hear me.
Oh, sorry. I turned it off.
Yeah, I need to make another Hangout screen in my profile, one that does the screen share without all the chat stuff, because it also looks like It also looks like my chat is got the wrong chat in it. It's got the chat from the last stream. Let's see here. Let me get the URL for this one and try reloading that. Properties. Bang. Okay. Let's see if reloading it works. Because I'm like, wait, there's some people I'm seeing in the chat over there on the one screen that weren't here today. At least not yet. Okay. Huh. It's not loading at all right now. You know what? To heck with that. I'm going to hide it. We're going to go with the display capture, and we're going to just drag it out. Make it bigger. My screen resolution doesn't match OBS's resolution. All right. I'll just keep an eye on the chat here, because apparently the chat's not going to work with the Hangout thing today. I don't know. All righty.
Ricky, tell me a little more about what you were doing with the file that you sent out. That you're like trying to do an open source group kind of thing, get people to make modules for it, or did I understand that?
For what now? I'm sorry.
Didn't you put out like the frame to one of your models that you wanted other people to make attachments for, or something?
Oh, that was a while back, and I've updated so many things that old file wouldn't be good for you anyway.
Oh, okay. I'm behind the times then. I just stumbled onto something and I was like, oh, this is new.
Yeah, I didn't keep up with the tanner3d.com website. I so let it slip. I still own it. I just don't update it. But part of that is working so much and then trying to do this streaming and all that. I can't keep up with everything.
Oh, yeah. It's hard, and there's so many things to update and keep up with.
And it's not like my job's not the typical, just you get up and you go to work and you come home. I have to manage communications with the booking agents and the clubs and all of my musicians, and keep them on track and organized. So even when I'm not at work, I'm sending out, and responding to dozens of texts every day, dealing with work stuff, then trying to do, stream a couple days a week, and then be involved with the 3D printing community and other people's streams, and then do like my music stream that I do on Wednesdays, and just trying to keep up with all of it, man. And then being a father and a husband and grandfather, and it's a handful. When I'm not sleeping, I have a million things to do. And so the tanner3d.com website, I let it slip, man. I was doing so good with it there for a while, and then I just stopped. I was posting daily like blogs and of what I was working on, and pictures and all that. But what I would like to do at some point is put up some some like bare bones files where you'd get like the frame and axles, and maybe like
Yeah.
a wheel blank, and say, here you go. Here's all the stuff you need to make a vehicle. Make one. Yeah, I need to cut out some of that sleeping stuff, D. That would gain me a whole 5 to 6 hours every day if I could just stop sleeping. Actually, what cuts into my day a lot is just, I mean, and this is going to sound silly, is getting my son ready for school, taking him to school, and picking him up from school. I'm like, I feel like time I drop him off and I get home, I do these streams and get some stuff done around the house. And it's time to pick him up, and then after I pick him up, it's time to get ready for work. And it feels like my whole day just kind of flows by. I blink and it's over. So what are you working on, Ed?
I don't know what I'm going to work on today. I got the feet done for my chair, and she was happy with that. So I don't know. I have to give it a little bit of thought and start on something new. I put up a video last night on those chair feet, even though I tried it on the live stream. I went back and made a actual video for it.
Cool, man.
Did that last night, but there's plenty to do. I just can't decide which one to pick.
Right? I know the feeling. I gotta update this grill for Roy so he can print it with his MMU. Which I don't know if Roy, not having an MMU, I don't know exactly how they work. Is it just a matter of saving this all in one? I mean, saving everything so that like my mirror modifiers and all that are all set. Uh, Everything's set in place. Like if I were just to export those, which this isn't really part of it. I was working with it, but I never did get that done. So I mean, that's not on mine. So if I export these 3 STLs, is that all you need, Roy? I know there's a little delay between when I say things and it goes out.
Usually about 10 seconds.
And then I got to give him time to type the response.
Or STLs.
4 STLs. 1, 2, 3.
The other headlight, you got a left and a right.
Well, they would be 1 STL because it's just one. Unless he's wanting me to split the lights into get the turn signals color, which I can do. Two lights, grill, and frame. All right, so I think I've already got.
I was wondering why my taskbar was not sliding out of the way, and it's your taskbar. I can't move that one. No matter
Okay.
how many times I click on it.
But when I export, right, yeah, when I export the lights this time, there'll be one file with both lights. VSV. Oh wait, VSV multi. Support grill. Headlights. Export. STL. Grill insert. And file, export, grill shell.
I didn't know you could do that.
What's that?
You're just highlighting one of your objects and then exporting the highlighted object?
Yes. So
Okay.
you select the object you want to export, and you go file, export STL. And what you got to do, your scale needs to be 1000 because otherwise it'll make it dinky.
Right.
And then this checkbox right here that says selection only.
Hang on. My
You
chat's
want
in.
that checkbox checked, the one that says selection only.
Oh, okay. That's why I couldn't get it to work then.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if that checkbox is checked and your scale is set to 1000, you will export only the selected object.
Okay, I need to fix that then. Yeah, I've been doing that the long way. If I've got 6 pieces, what I was doing was deleting the 5 I didn't want to export. Then I would export my part, and then I would just hit Control Z 5 times and bring those pieces I deleted back.
And see, I was going about it the wrong way for the longest time too. I was after I'd saved my file, I would select just the part I wanted. I would copy it. I would open a new file and paste it into the new file, and
Yeah.
then export it.
Well,
And
I'm
then I
glad.
saw one day when I was exporting, I saw that over there, and I went, "Wait, selection only, duh."
Yeah. There's always an easier answer. We just got to find it.
Right. And so at that point, I was like, "Oh, selection only." So now I can just export the selected object and be done. All right. So now I need to go over here. I need to open Discord.
I never knew anything about the space bar bringing you up to search until you started in on 2.8. I was like, boy, that looks like it'd be handy.
Oh yeah. Well, because I can't remember all the hotkeys and stuff. I can't. There's too many of them.
I printed the book out once. It's probably an inch thick of all the commands.
Yeah. So I saved that in VSV Multi. Sport Grill. I'm gonna highlight all 3 of those and drag and drop them over to the Patreon files in Discord. Comment Sport Grill STLs. Upload. All right, Roy. Have fun. They are up for you.
So you store those in Patreon.
I store them on my Discord server.
Oh, okay.
And my Discord server is for patrons.
Gotcha.
So there's a spot on my Discord that only patrons have access to.
Right.
And I put the files up there.
I have a Discord channel, but I don't have anybody in it. It was me and my wife just have been using it for quite a while. Actually, when I first started watching Walter, I started one and played with it a little bit. But
yeah, mine doesn't get used for a lot of chatting or anything like that. It's mainly just a conveyance for my patrons to be able to download the beta access and early access to files.
No, that's a good deal.
I got rejected by the back of the trash can lid. My trash can turned into Dikembe Mutombo. Get that out of here. Glad I screwed the lid onto it before I threw it over there. Because that's all I would need is splash out a little bit of grape juice on beige carpet.
Yeah, that doesn't go over well.
My wife would be real happy with me. She already gets mad because there's little chunks of PLA all over the floor. I'm like, what? When you're breaking support material off, little bits fly everywhere.
Are you still in here, D? If so, you were right. The TPU on that chair leg, that worked perfect. Thank you.
Oh, he
My
was the
wife.
one that suggested you try TPU.
Yeah, I made the first one out of PLA and didn't like the way it turned out. I made that one on the live stream, and then the next day I made them out of TPU, and it turned out way better.
Yeah, I've never tried printing with anything other than PLA so far.
Really, I didn't change anything. Several people said you had to change the bed and all the different things, but I had several people say print it just like PLA but hotter, and so that's all I did is take the temperature up to 240 and hit print, and it printed perfect.
Huh.
It's
Yeah, I'm getting
3D.
similar. I'm getting similar suggestions about printing PETG since I'll be printing in PETG for the first time ever. Later on this week probably.
Now PETG's not a flexible, is it? Or is it?
No, but it's what most people print their like printer parts out of printed printer parts out of because it's more heat resistant.
Oh, okay. And is it the PETG? Is that the one that's food safe that you can make cups and stuff out of?
I
Or
don't
am I
know.
thinking? Might be thinking of the wrong thing.
Robbie Mack is here. What's going on, man? Spent a year printing only PLA. TPU for me is the same as PLA except 30 millimeters second or slower.
For TPU,
Yeah.
I printed mine at 60 millimeters a second. I didn't change nothing.
Wow. And you didn't have any problem with stringing or anything?
No.
Huh.
I had a little string at the beginning of the print and a little string as it left the print, and that was it. But it was a very tiny, solid piece, really, so there wasn't much there. There wasn't
Oh
a bunch.
yeah.
I did the same thing. I printed my stamps and my stencils out of it and didn't have any problems with it.
So I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to it, but the opening hood works. So you can see the engine bay in there. And the steering functions. And the suspension functions.
Now, is that red or orange?
It's red, but Amazon Basics PLA, their red sucks.
Well, it looks similar to the color of your hat, and I know your hat's red, so
Yeah, it's red, but their red looks kind of washed out.
yeah.
I would have preferred a darker red, which actually it's got a little bit of an orange tint to it, just a tiny bit. I know some of that is my lighting in here is yellow. You shine yellow light on a red object, it makes it look orange.
I got to get me a roll of red. The wife wants you've seen probably around in the Christmas decorations, the red truck with the Christmas tree in the back. I don't know
Yeah,
if you've seen it. She wants me to print her a red truck so she can put a Christmas tree in it and use it for decoration.
cool.
So that'd be my first vehicle. I thought I would try a lot of your stuff on that.
Huh. So Slicer Prusa edition, they updated something and it's causing Roy some problems.
Ah, damn updates. I always hate them.
I need to download and install Prusa Edition so that now that I'm designing some multi-material stuff, so that I can uh, save the files with the all the color data and all that kind of stuff and positioning, and save it all in one file. That way I'm not having to upload 3 STLs for someone to print this grill, and then they have to bring in the 3 STLs and line them up and assign the color and all that.
Is that in a slicer?
Yeah. Three, what's it, a 3MF file? Yeah, 3MF file. Prusa Edition can save a 3MF file, which will save the positioning and the data that these are meant to be 3 different colors,
Right.
and all that into one file, and then people would be able to download just the one file, and the only thing they're doing is assigning the colors for each extruder and hitting print. Yeah, 3MF or AMF. But Blender does not have that functionality. But I saw another video where Slicer Prusa Edition has that functionality to save a 3MF straight from the slicer. All right. Let's go back to this. Yeah, you can see how different the sport version of the Jeep looks from the first version. Oop, how much shorter the roof is. It's almost like a chop top.
Yeah.
But I like the look. I like how it turned out. I just got to finish gluing it together today. And I will. I got really frustrated with it last night when I broke a couple pieces and had to reprint them.
Don't you just hate that?
Yeah. I broke
my microphone stand, my last piece. Snapped it in half.
I broke a spring, and then I broke an axle mount.
What? You broke a spring?
Yep.
You wore it out, squeezing it, playing with it.
No, while trying to press the wheel on the side of the axle,
Yeah.
I torqued it out too far.
Oh.
Pulled, and it like kind of twisted a little bit, and it just snapped.
Now you're printing that on its side?
Yes. Printed like this.
Trying to think of the layer lines where they would be to make it the easiest to break. So yeah, pushing sideways.
Well, yeah. So basically, what happened is the stress I was putting on it was like trying to unscrew the spring, like trying to straighten it out. And since the layer lines are running this way, that it just snapped at a layer line.
Yeah.
But the layer lines running that way, they seem to put up with this sort of torture. You can compress them this way all day. And they just take it and keep coming back for more. I started trying to straighten up my makerspace a little bit yesterday. I still got more work to do. I haven't even had time because I need to. I've got a table upstairs that I've got stored. I've got the legs off of it and got it all stored upstairs. I need to bring it down here put the legs on the table and set it up so that I can put the tornado up on the table because it's a good workbench height. And put the tornado up on that so that I'll have good lighting and good height. So I'm not trying to work on it on the floor to finish fixing the tornado. Morning, Ben. So yeah, I need to get the tornado done. I need to finish cleaning up the makerspace. I need to download all the files for a AM8 and start printing those. Load up this PETG and start printing those. I'm gonna print that in that orange PETG that I got from IC3D, and it's one of only 2 rolls in existence. So I thought it'd be cool to use it to print printer parts. Cool. I will check that out. Build progress. Nice. Oh, Roy, looks pretty darn good to me. Let's drag it over here so y'all can see it. Yeah, looks like a really nice print quality to me. I did notice, Roy, if you're getting ready to uh, print that, what did happen to my? Oh, there it is. If you're getting ready to print the opening hood, I did notice I had to modify the front inner tub. And I modified mine with a pair of flush cutters. It tried to occupy the same space as the engine bay, and there's not room for both of them under the hood. So I just took my flush cutters and cut the top off and still had plenty of space to glue it in here at the sides. But the hood won't close with the engine bay sitting on top of the flange that was there for the inner tub. So cut the flange off of the top of the inner tub, and like I said, pair of flush cutters. It just took me a second to snip it right off, and it alleviated my problem. And then I went back into Blender and took the flange off the top in the model. Yeah, I just took a pair of flush cutters and made one little snip there, and because of the orientation I had printed it in, at that point, once I made the little snip, it separated the layer lines. I just grabbed it with the needle nose pliers, and it just peeled right off, nice and even. 4.6K subs last night for Ben. Nicely done, man. I got a whopping 156. And I appreciate every one of them. So yeah, a pair of flush cutters. It's a quick one, well, 2 snips, one on each side, and peels right off. And then that'll allow you to glue the engine bay down on top of the inner fender wells there. Yeah, I started this channel. My first upload was March 19th, which is the day after my birthday. I started this channel March 19th, and here we are, December 13th, and it's 156 subs. Oh no, I understand, dude. Yeah, I wouldn't want to if I'd already started printing it, and it was that far along. I wouldn't have wanted to cancel it to redo it anyway, either. So, which, I mean, that was some of my biggest problems putting it together was just trying to get this because it was so many pieces. Because I don't have an MMU, my hood is three pieces. So I was trying to glue that all together and get it lined up just right, and then glue the fenders and the grill and the pillar back here and get them all lined up and square, and while putting the pegs in the sides for the lifting hood and get those square, and they're not exactly perfect, but they work. It was a lot of headache trying to get it all lined up, and I may go through at some point, and even though it's going to mean more supports, join join these pieces here, um, right here to the bottom side of the hood. Even though it'll mean lifting the hood up off of the build plate a little bit and having some supports underneath the whole hood, I think it would make it a lot easier in the long run during assembly to not have to fiddle with trying to glue the hinges in place and glue the hinges to the hood and get everything lined up. So this is why we print stuff out ahead of time and beta test. Well, the hammerhead that I uploaded eventually for you guys on the Patreon side of things is a better hammerhead than the one I printed. But I think doing the release schedule the way that I'm doing it, where you guys get beta access to stuff as I'm designing it, and then once the design is done, by that point, I've printed most of it. You guys get pre-release access to it while I finish printing it. And by that point, I've found any problems or you guys have found some problems and let me know about them, and been able to fix them. And that gives you guys like a month with a pre-released version of the vehicle, a couple months if you started in beta, and allows the bugs and the kinks to be worked out of it by the time it goes public. So it works out well on many levels because, like I said, you guys get early access, but then it also allows me to bring a better product to the general community by the time it gets there. It takes a while to get there. It's from the time I start something to the time that the public gets it is 2 to 3 months. These tabs I added after I cut the big flat piece off the top. See, there used to be a big flat piece off the top. I added the small tabs so that they lined up with the spring mounts, so you could have another little glue point right there and there. And that I just updated last night. All right, Ed, if you can entertain these folks for a couple minutes, I have got to go to the restroom, and I will be right back.
Uh-oh. I'm not very entertaining.
Oh, come on, Ed. You're just fine. It's all in presentation and confidence.
You suckered me in there. I didn't realize I was going to have to do anything. I just thought
Well, I mean, you came in, you're kind of, since you're here, you're kind of co-host now.
Oh, I got you.
All right, I'll be right back. It won't take me long.
Okay, well, hopefully the chat will have plenty to say. I was just over there trying to enter that stupid competition for that giveaway, and not sure I'm doing that correctly. It's not giving me any confirmation that I entered it. Ed don't dance. I can roll, but I'm not going to show you that. Ed's not a dancer. There's a giveaway at all three DP. Hang on and well, I don't know that I can post a link, so let me go back here and look. But if you follow me on Twitter, I just tweeted it out. I tweeted it out. Now I lost my chat. Hang on a second. I'll try it. I don't know if it'll go up or not. It probably won't. Did that come through? Looks like it might have come through. They're giving away a printer or two, I think. Reality Ender 3 Pro and a CRS 10. So I was going down through the Gleam list trying to get all that stuff set up, but I don't seem to be getting confirmations that I've done what they've asked for, so I'm not sure I'm doing it right.
Show. And then
Didn't
let me
come
fix
through.
that and make you a mod there, Ed. There.
Well, thank you, Ricky. Now I really feel special.
Right?
Yeah.
You've become the co-host of today's show and you're a moderator.
Cool. I'm a mod in 2 places now, I think. You and Mike.
Well, I mean, you've proven yourself to be trustworthy.
Well, good. I hope so. I would never do anything out of line intentionally.
Right? All right. So,
Did that link go up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I clicked show on it anyway.
Oh,
but
okay.
then after that I made you a mod.
Oh, there I see a confirmation. I did actually get the Twitter confirmation. I don't know
There we
why.
go. So I should probably also put up the new version of the front tub. So file, export, STL. And that's under VSV, functional, front tub, export. And then go over here. And go to Patreon files. And no. Where's that at? Oh, it's on desktop, VSV, functional, front tub. What? Dadgummit. Just no. Front tub. Version 2. All right. There's that. So back to Blender. Hangout's pulled back up and chat. I just wish some of these giveaways that somebody we know would win them.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, the 3D printing community doesn't feel like it's that big.
Yep.
and for all these giveaways, and we never know the person who wins it. I mean, that's even on like Chris Riley's channel on his 5,000 sub giveaway. The guy that won the printer was a guy that I'd never seen in any of the streams before.
Well, at least Mike won a shirt, didn't he?
Right, right. But I mean, the guys who win the printers are always guys we've never heard of.
Yeah.
Or hear from again. I won the printer. I'm out. You know.
Well, we need more people with 100 subs to do big giveaways. Then we'd have better odds, right?
Right. I've got something I want to give away, but I don't think I've reached a sub count high enough to give it away.
Yeah. We'll all get there.
Back when Fernando Pena won those or not won, but was sent all those 3D pens. He sent me a couple of them, one for me to keep and one for me to give away. Now it uses a special low temp filament. So before I give it away, what I want to do is I want to order a pack, like sample pack of that special filament that it uses to give it away with a bunch of little spool, various colors of spools of that type of filament. I forget what filament it's called, but it melts at a really low temp because it's a low temp 3D pen. You're at 3 with no content on your channel. Yeah, that would hinder subs. Right. Well, that's yeah, low temp filament that nobody has. That's why I wanted to send, when I give it away, send it out with some of that. Give somebody enough to get started. TK won some filament about a year ago and some resin. Very cool. Yeah, I've won filament a couple times. I won filament on and both times I won filament, it was IC3D filament. And both times it was orange. That's crazy. Now that I think about it, I won a roll of orange IC3D PLA on Glenn Fun King 3D, his birthday bash stream, the 1 year anniversary of Fun King 3D. And then I won on the community catch up a couple weeks ago, the construction orange PETG IC3D filament. So yeah, I've got good luck with IC3D orange filament winning it. I keep making these vehicles. I'm gonna have to design a parking garage and print it.
There you go. Multi-level.
Right.
Modular.
Yeah. So I can add to it as I go. Because right now, let's see, I've got printed out, I have 3 Jeeps, the Scorpion, and the Hammerhead. So I have 5 vehicles printed out that I've designed, and they're all different. I mean, 3 of them are based on the same model. The 3 Jeeps are all, the same base model. But each one is drastically different from the other one because I have the 2-door, the 4-door, and the one with and now the Sport with the functional suspension and steering. And I like the roof profile so much better on the Sport than I do on the others. That lower profile roof. Oh, I can't stop yawning. And I got more sleep than I usually do last night, and maybe that's the problem. My body's not used to getting 8 hours of sleep because that's what I actually got last night. Like first time in that I can remember that I had 8 hours of sleep in one night. And yet I'm having a hard time like getting rolling today. Gonna peel off all the old glue from this part that after I broke the spring, I had to break the glue loose on the other spring and managed to do so without breaking the spring. But then I got to peel all the old glue out before I re-glue it. And this Gorilla Glue brand glue stick, or not glue stick, hot glue, holds pretty good. Well, the part broke before the glue let go.
I used the Gorilla Glue super glue.
Yeah. So this is what I use when I glue my vehicles together. It's a low temp hot glue, and the Gorilla Glue brand, and it holds really nice.
Just get you a 3D pen, then you can use the exact same PLA or whatever filament that you built it with.
Right, and just melt it together.
Yeah.
Never
I
let
mean,
the machines win. What's going
use it
on, Mike? Welcome to this very unusual stream today. Unusual because I'm doing a Google Hangout, and I never do Google Hangouts. I haven't used the Gorilla Glue Super Glue. TK's asking about how good it is there, Ed.
Well, I used it on my mic stand till I ran out, and it worked perfect. I think it's pretty much like any other super glue. I don't know what's better about it, but it just happened to be what I had around, and it worked great. Stuck my fingers to the mic stand.
You know, a trick of guitar players, if you split one of your calluses, is to put a coating of super glue on your finger, and you can
Oh
still
yeah.
play a show.
I sliced all the way down this thumb with a fishing fillet knife when I was here by myself, and it went all the way down. I should have went to the ER, but I come in and got the crazy glue and glued that sucker back together.
There you go. Don't
They
try
got some
that at
new
home,
things.
kids.
Huh?
I said, don't try that at home, kids.
They got some new things I've seen pop up here and there on the internet of they're like zip ties, but they're two strips that you stick on each side of the wound, and then they
Yeah,
got a whole bunch of little zip ties, and you just pull it closed like butterflies.
yeah.
I'd like to find those. Those would be handy.
Well, yeah, especially if you're accident prone.
And that's me.
When
That's me. When I sliced my thumb, if you'd have walked into the house after I got to the bathroom, it would have looked like somebody was murdered here. It would just poured.
This is just a trail of blood all the way, huh?
Oh yeah, all over the back patio, everything.
You gotta stop that stuff, Ed.
I did. Yeah, Robbie Mac gel, the super glue gel. That's what the bottle was that I had was Gorilla Glue super glue gel. Thought it was still here, but I might have thrown it away. Yep, I must have thrown the bottle away.
I could totally design a helicopter using the same basic design that I did here. Just helicopter blade instead of an axle. Because that spins nice. Missed it. Missed it. Having too much fun. All right. Let's do something worthwhile and productive. Even though I don't feel like being productive today.
It's a hangout. It's loose today.
It is loose today. But that's my Thursdays. Man, you know, I'm gonna try to be, you know, serious on my Tuesdays, and then Thursdays is just kind of hanging out and chatting. Take an approach similar to the old morning coffees, you know.
Yeah.
At least for now. I need to finish this trailer. It's another thing Roy's been on me about because he's already printed the bottom half of the trailer.
Keep up.
I know.
Have you ever had anybody on Thingiverse donate to you?
Not a dime.
No.
No, but I have, you know, I have 8 Patreon supporters now.
Do you? That's good.
Yeah, I have 8 Patreon supporters. And see, I keep all that stuff public because I'm, you know, a full disclosure kind of guy.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I have 8 Patreon supporters for a total of $23.
Cool.
$23 a month. But you know, anybody who well, and Robbie Mac donated a printer to me.
I have one. I have one Patreon for $3, and then I get $2.50, I think, after the fees.
Yeah, I have 8 of them for a total of $23, and then I have $10 going out to Walter. So I net $13 minus fees a month.
All right. We don't do it to live on it.
No, no. Actually, I'm just leaving the money in Patreon for right now until it gets to a more sizable amount. And the plan is, you know, to use that money for stuff for the channel.
Right.
Whether
That's my
that's
plan too.
whether that's filament, um, equipment for the channel, you know, that sort of thing. Is all of that will be turned right back around into the channel. All that's not being used to support other creators, which, you know, like I said, right now I support Walter at a $10 a month level. And one thing that when I finally got over that much coming in for me, it meant it stopped being a negative balance on me every month that would come out of my PayPal account. So now $13 a month goes into my PayPal account, and when it gets to an amount that's sizable enough for something, you know, it'll be turned back around into stuff that supports the channel. Like I said, either filament or maybe I'm setting it aside right now, thinking maybe when I get to that like 200-ish dollar mark, I'll order that Anycubic Castle Linear Plus with it, and we'll put that together on a live stream, and then it'll be used to continue cranking out the designs that I'm designing on the channel. It'll all get put back into the channel.
Oh yeah.
One way or another.
Plenty of places it can go.
Oh yeah. To try to help offset the expense of printing this stuff that I'm designing. Because I would say I used probably 300-400 grams of black, and then how much did I use of red? About 200 grams of red, printing this Jeep, you know, and all that stuff. It costs money, but it's supporting this hobby, and that's what
Right.
it is. It's a hobby. It's something I enjoy doing, and I love to sit down and design the stuff, and especially this time of year, if it weren't finding a way to balance the scale a little bit, I would have to hold off because
Right.
this time of year the income goes down, and there'd be no way around. I just wouldn't be able to order filament and things like that if it weren't kind of balancing itself out a little bit. The wife would kill me.
Yeah, D says he's got to be nice to his Patreon or she'll cut him off.
Yeah, you're right, TK. A lot of what I think a lot of the problem on Thingiverse are there are too many completely unprintable models on it.
Yeah, I would never
So
put anything on there that I did not print first.
I've got some stuff I haven't printed, but I also left it as a work in progress and posted on there. If you have problems, let me know and I will fix it.
That brings up a good question. There's no way to go back in and change anything if you do not select that box that says work in progress, is there?
I don't know. All my stuff is a work in progress.
Yeah, I messed up. I needed to click that box and I didn't, but I will next time.
All my stuff is a work in progress, which allows me to go in and edit the stuff, and also lets people know that hey, files could change,
Right.
things could change. Um,
That's a good habit.
yeah, and for me, all of these designs, the vehicles especially, will always be a work in progress. Because you look at the 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 two door Jeep, the base model of the Jeep, when it got put out on Thingiverse, it was essentially done. But then I went back and I created functional steering and suspension and a functional winch, which was fun,
Right.
and opening hood and a different top for it. That it's still the same Jeep, but there's so much of it has changed. Okay, Robbie Mack says you can edit things on Thingiverse that are not a work in progress.
Oh, can you? Okay. Well, I'll keep looking then because I had given up. I tried and tried to get back in there. I don't even remember what I was trying to change, but I was trying to go back in and add a picture of it as a complete model because I put all the STLs in there separately for each component of the magnet, but I didn't put a picture of it complete. So it doesn't even look really like what it should look like. It just looks like a can right now. And I couldn't figure out how to go back in there and add another picture.
D asks a great question, but it's a question that, much like the what's the best 3D printer for me question, it depends on what you're doing.
Yep, I agree.
It depends on what you're doing. If Blender is kind of a jack of all trades modeling software, you can do everything in it, but if you are specifically targeted at one thing, there are programs out there that do every one thing that Blender does better, but they focus on that one thing. Like if you like to sculpt stuff, you can do that in Blender, but you're going to get better results out of ZBrush. If you make
Thank you, Robbie.
functional parts for something that have to be bolted and screwed together, and where the accuracy of your measurements and dimensions are important, you can do that on Blender, but you're better off doing it in Fusion 360.
I don't agree with that one.
Yeah.
I believe I'm sure Fusion 360 is nice because it's made by AutoCAD and they've been around forever, or Autodesk or whatever who makes AutoCAD. But there's only so many things that you can do with a CAD program. You know, I
Right.
think Fusion 360 is a lot harder than Blender.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Well,
And
for me,
Blender has all the options. It's got the CAD for the mechanical drawings and measurements. It's got the video editing software built in. It's got the 3D modeling for like Pixar. Some of the stuff, some of the engines in Blender is from Pixar, the people that
oh,
designed
absolutely.
the Disney. So it just does everything. So I only got to learn one software
And you
and
can,
I can do it all.
but that's why I said Blender is kind of a jack of all trades.
Yes, you're right. I agree there.
But being a jack of all trades, it's a master of none.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
if you're into sculpting stuff, you like I said, ZBrush is the better tool for that.
Yeah, I've never used that. I
Like
played with Sculptor.
character design and sculpting, ZBrush all the way, because ZBrush allows you to rough out the shape of your character in seconds.
Right.
You can rough out its arms and legs and head and all that general shape in seconds using a Z body or whatever it is, and then you go in and sculpt it. While you can't do it that seamlessly in Blender, you can
Right.
do it, and you can do it well, but there are more steps to it. Now, the nice thing about Blender also is, being that it is an open source software, there are literally thousands of developers out there making add-ons and plugins that not all of them are free. You know about the free ones, you know about the official ones. They're pretty easy. But if you have one specific need or goal in mind with Blender, and you do a little time, spend a little time on a Google search, you can find add-ons and things that will be specifically targeted to what you're doing. They may cost money.
Yeah, I come across one of those. I think the name of it was like Sensei, and it was like $10 or $15, but it had some awesome looking tools for 3D printing. I don't want to spend any money on it, but it
Awesome,
looked awesome.
Roy. Thanks for the update, man. Right. For me, hard ops, and it came in a bundle package with box cutter, which I really haven't used box cutter much, but hard ops was essential for what I'm doing, and because it cut hours off of my design process for $37.
Right.
So I'm like, I can save myself 2 or 3 hours of final processing on a model to clean it up and smooth it out and make it look better. I can save myself 2 to 3 hours on every single model I do from this point forward for $37. That at that point it was a no-brainer for me, because you have to factor in the value of your time. And if I can save 2 to 3 hours on every single model that I do, it's worth it. All right, Mike. Thanks for stopping in, man. And I look forward to seeing your Jeep whenever you get it done, man. Team Orange. Yeah, Sculptress is a basic version of ZBrush. Now, I don't think they do. I don't think Sculptress has the Z body thing, which I think was what makes ZBrush a step above when it comes to character design. Um, if you watch any of Garrett's modeling videos, Chaos Cortec, when he uses ZBrush, those Z body things, that's what he starts all of his models with. He just really quickly draws out. It's almost like a three-dimensional stick figure that he's able to real quickly just draw out in seconds, that he can start with, and then from there he just models out each piece. Need some attention to fit and finish. A time machine. Yeah. I need something that just pauses time for the rest of the world, but lets me keep going. I think if I could have one superpower, that would be it. Freeze time. Freeze time for everybody but me. Of course, they say with great power comes great responsibility. I would do some irresponsible things with it. Oh, Ben bought a Delta. Which Delta did you buy, man? I'll watch the video later. But I got to do it while I'm on stream. But I'm interested in a Delta. I've been really interested in that Anycubic Castle Linear Plus for a long time because it has a decent build volume at a really decent price. And okay, I've never heard of that one. And once it's dialed in and printing right, man, if you've seen the results that Tom Jackson has gotten out of his, it's insane. Tom Jackson Filament Frenzy, he gets Prusa Mark III quality prints out of this $220 Delta. Trila Delta Deltique L. Deltique L. $250 by 300 build height. 250 diameter, 300 height.
What's the price on something like that?
I don't know. I'm just looking into it now. I've never heard of Trilabs. Nice looking machine though.
Fiber rods.
Hmm. Man, some of the pictures of the prints they're getting off this thing. What layer lines? A frame you can rely on or sit on. Oh, and then they have a XL version that's 500 millimeter height. Where's the price? Oh, get a quote.
That tells the story right there.
Get a quote. Yeah, that tells me everything I need to know. I can't afford it. It's the old adage: if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Yeah, that's where I fall in. Is if you have to ask, you can't afford it. See, that's why I'm looking at that Anycubic console because the Linear Plus version is like $225. And while not huge, it's good quality and decent size.
There's one for $159.
For what?
Anycubic upgraded Costal Delta 3 printer, pulley, and Linear Plus. $159 at 3D Printer Bay.
That $159 price is for the pulley version.
Oh, yeah, it says pulley and Linear
Yeah,
Plus.
the pulley. They have the pulley version, which is a smaller printer and lower quality. And then there's the Linear Plus version, which is a little bit bigger build volume, and it uses linear rails instead of the pulleys, and costs more. But it doesn't cost exponentially more. It's $70 more. So to me, worth it. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
still, yeah, that's still on the list. I will get one of these days, or plan to. Spinning that, it puts out some air. Imagine if I could get those to spin while it was doing it. Then it really put out some air. All right, Ben. School run time. Later, buddy. I'm only going to be here for another 30 minutes or so. I got some stuff to do myself. And I've gotten nothing accomplished today. Just hung out and chatted with Ed.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It's not your fault that I've been lazy today. It looks like Don's out of here too. Later, Don.
Did Mike Whaley ever show up?
He did. I don't know if he's still here, but he was here earlier.
I know he quit the stream early yesterday because he was sick. Just wondering how he was feeling. He must have caught it from D.
All right. What's weird is the link you shared on Twitter for the giveaway
Yeah.
shows the AlphaWise U20 and AlphaWise U30. But when you click the giveaway, it's for a CR10S and a Ender 3 Pro.
Yeah, I don't know. I just went through that Gleam list and started clicking on them, and it posted.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is if I win it.
I'd take just about any 3D printer and give it a whirl, except for maybe the Huni H6 and the 101 Hero.
I'd take those too. If I didn't like them, then there's my 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
Yeah. Or I bet you could get some good content torturing the printers.
Yeah.
Today we're going to strap 1,000 bottle rockets to a 101 Hero. Can we make it take flight? Is that wrong? Is that wrong of me? Should I not say those things? Yeah, Mike's still here. But you couldn't even really get donor parts off of a 101 Hero because it doesn't even use real steppers. It
What does
uses
it
like
do?
those little itty bitty steppers that are inside like an inkjet printer.
Oh,
Although I did see an interesting Google post a few months ago of somebody that turned a inkjet printer into a 3D printer, or a couple inkjet printers into a 3D printer. So they scavenged a couple of old like HP inkjets for free, and those inkjets, they have motors in them and belts and linear or the hardened rods, steel rods. They have all that in them. Look inside one of those old HP inkjets. You've got two rods going across that the carriage moves on, just like on the A8. It's really no different, just smaller. So why couldn't you take the parts from like two of them and turn it into a 3D printer? And that's what the guy did.
I found a copy machine out at a dumpster one time. Oh, somewhere down in southern Indiana. And they said I could have it, but I was in the car, but I wanted to bring it home so bad because I know there's some big stepper motors and rails and stuff in there.
Yeah.
That was before I bought my Ender.
Like you can go to one of those. I don't know if you have any of the Goodwills around you that are the 99-cent Goodwills.
The outlets
Um,
by the pound, by the pound.
no, we've got one here in town that's a 99-cent Goodwill where everything in there's like 99 cents.
Really?
And it's just giant tubs full of crap.
Right? I've
And
probably been in it because when we went down to Myrtle Beach and came back up through Tennessee and Nashville, we stopped at every Goodwill outlet we could find.
well,
Maybe I.
this one used to be a regular Goodwill. They just turned it a couple months ago into this Goodwill
Oh,
99-cent thing.
okay.
And my wife and I went in there, and it's just garbage. There was nothing in there worth having unless you're somebody who is a real just love to take stuff apart and tinker, because nothing would be functional. It's one step above going to the garbage dump to look for stuff.
Nashville had a really, really nice Habitat for Humanity restore, big and a lot of nice stuff in there.
We got one of those here in Clarksville too. That's pretty nice, especially if you're looking for like cabinets or countertops.
Right.
It's a great place to go for that. John, what's going on, man? Yeah, I think this is essentially kind of the same deal, Vince. I think once they get done with the stuff at that 99-cent Goodwill, it just goes in the garbage.
That's what they do here too at the outlets. They'll run it around in bins a couple times, and if it doesn't sell, they put it in a big compactor.
Yep.
It's $1.19 a pound.
Yeah. So, yeah, everything in there is like 99 cents. And the time that we went in there were a whole bunch of the old HP inkjet printers. So if you were looking to try to duplicate that guy's project, you could get yourself a couple of them for $2 to take apart and get the rods out of and the belts and the motors.
I take all the ink cartridges out of them. You
Yeah.
buy those. You buy those by weight. You know, they only cost a few pennies, and then I take them to Staples and sell them for $2 a piece.
Huh.
I got a big box of them in the laundry room right now. I need to get back on there.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm feeling this sleepy after getting a fullest night's sleep I've gotten in months.
That's the problem. You're getting too much sleep.
Right? I
Yep.
slept. I slept 8 hours last night, and I think that's the longest I've slept. Because shortly after my music stream last night, I just passed out. I woke up a couple times throughout the middle of the night, and I was uh, I passed out after my music stream. I woke up. It was like midnight, and everybody was asleep. And I went, "Well, everybody else is asleep. I'm going back to sleep." And then I woke up again at like 3, went back to sleep, and then woke up again at 5, and that's when I got up and I went to bed. I laid down at like 9. So, aside from waking up a couple times and just kind of looking around the room, I slept for 8 hours, and I never sleep for that long. John, what's going on, man? You working today? You do it is here. Yeah, today I've got the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson today, and and my Ed McMahon is also named Ed, just probably not McMahon. Off tomorrow. Tomorrow I have a double. No off tomorrow for me.
Tomorrow's my work day. I have to go read meters tomorrow.
Yeah. I will step on stage at 10:30 in the morning, and I will not get off stage until almost 6:30 in the evening. Eight hours of singing.
Well, there's Walter. How you doing, Walter?
Walter, what's up, buddy? Congrats on the big 1K, man. Well earned and well deserved. I'm playing. I do my first shift at Crossroads on Broadway, and then our downbeat is at 11. We step on stage to set up at about 10:30. Downbeats at 11. We play until 2:15. Then we tear down our stuff and run across the street to the stage and set up there and play until 6:15. Then time we tear down our stuff and get off the stage, it's 6:30. So start setting up at 10:30 in the morning, play first show, tear down at 2:15, run across the street, set up, play second show until 6:15, tear down about 6:30. I'm divvying up tips and paying the band. Then it's walk back to lug all my gear back to the parking garage and make the hour drive home. So Fridays are long days, man. Fridays always beat me up. I feel like the rest of the week is a cakewalk after I get through with Friday. You play a double. A double is easily 5 times harder than a single shift. Not just twice as hard, because the it's like the laws of diminishing returns. You get exponentially more tired as the second show wears in.
What about the tips, though?
No. No, because that first show doesn't. That first show's not really a money maker. That first show, I said yes to it because I'm like, well, it's just going down a few hours earlier. I'm going down there anyway. I might as well go down and make a few extra bucks. So that first show is good for $60 or $70. to help supplement the second show. The second show is the important one financially.
Use the first show to cover your costs to get down there and back and all that.
Pretty much. I mean,
Meals.
yeah, because now, of course, there's no time for meals or anything until after the show. So I pack a little cooler bag with some stuff, drinks and snacks and things like that, because from the time I start the first show to the time I get done with the second, there's no break.
Hmm.
There's no break. If it weren't for the fact that there are other people in my band that can sing so I can run to the restroom, there'd be no restroom break even. We're not in the entertainment industry. You're not bound by the same laws of uh, labor laws that everybody else is. They don't have to give you a 15-minute break every 2 hours. Because they don't. You from the moment you step on that stage, you work solid until your shift is over. And doing 2 shifts in a row, there's no time for a break because you have to tear down your stuff, run straight to the next club, set up, because the start time is from the time you get done at you stop playing at 2:15 at the first show. You have to be started playing by 2:35 at the second show.
Wow.
So I have 20 minutes to tear down my gear, run across the street, set my gear back up.
That's
And
tight.
there's no time for a break. That's the hardest working part of the day, is that 20 minutes. That 20 minutes sucks.
That's where it's better to be a guitar player than a drummer.
Drummers don't have that much to set up and tear down in Nashville.
Oh, they just leave drums set up there or something?
Yeah, there's the drum kits. Everybody has a house drum kit. The only thing you bring with you is your cymbals, your drum throne, and your kick drum pedal.
Huh. Well, that's good. That helps.
And your sticks. Everything else is just sitting there at the club. The drum kit is sitting there ready to go. You just put your cymbals on the cymbal stands and connect your kick pedal to the kick drum, set your throne down. Ready to go. So actually, the lead guitar player has the most equipment because they don't have an amplifier provided for them. They have to bring their own. So the lead guitar player has the most because he has an amplifier and guitars and all that stuff to lug around with him. Although my lead guitar player has wised up, he got one of those new systems that you can play without an amplifier. It's just a big foot pedal plugged straight into the system, and then he can get his sound back through his monitor. Sitting in the VA hospital waiting. Internet's in and out. Now I forget what you were going to the VA for. It was a family member. I remember that, but I forget what exactly.
I think it was his dad, wasn't it?
Okay.
Cataracts or something.
Aha. See, I've been missing a lot of the evening streams because, well, I'm busy at that time of day. Those happen at like 5 o'clock in the evening here, and 5 o'clock in the evening is the same time my wife comes. My wife gets off work at 5. She walks in the door at like 5 minutes after 5, and then it's dinner and whatever evening things she has planned on my days off.
Where
And
does
then
she
when
work?
it's not a day off, it's 5 o'clock. I'm in the car. I'm in the car on my way. Well, almost to the parking garage by that point.
What does she do for a living?
My wife, she's a phlebotomist.
Oh, okay.
She stabs people with needles all day long.
Yep.
She's in process of making a career transition soon. She passed her CPC exam. She's a certified medical coder now.
Oh, that's good.
So she's going to start doing that instead of sticking people with needles all day, because her job ultimately, when it boils down to it, is it's just not, it's not for the faint of heart. She has been punched, kicked, bit, spit on. And the sick part is most of the time it's full grown men that react the most poorly to being stuck with a needle. Usually elderly men at that.
Yeah.
But she had a guy back when she was a rotator, which meant she floated from position to position, place to place, doing it. And she rotated in one day to a nursing home, and she was doing the rounds, and a like 78-year-old man punched her square in the face. She's drawing his blood. She gets the needle stuck in and is switching tubes. And she said the guy kind of made a grunting noise, and she looked up, and just as she looked up, he popped her right in the face.
Wow.
And there's nothing that could be done about it.
You
Nothing.
take that needle and jab it in that arm a couple more times.
She couldn't do anything to retaliate. He got in zero trouble. Nothing happened. Just
Was he like
part of the
diminished
job.
mental capacity?
No, he was just old and cantankerous.
Huh.
But yeah, he punched her right in the face, and not a thing that could be done about it. I'm like, really? This guy doesn't get in any trouble at all for this? And she's like, no. She had a
Better
black
take a bigger
eye.
needle next time.
Yeah. She's like, well, if I go back there, then she said, because he did that, I can get the orderlies to restrain him before I go in. But he gets the first punch for free.
Yeah.
And the sick part is, though, it's not even like you think all that behavior I was talking about would be like little kids or something. Spit on, kicked, punched, bit. No, 90% of the time it's full grown men. I'm like, what? I mean, I don't like getting my blood drawn, but I'm not going to punch, kick, bite, or spit on somebody for it.
No, I get it done all the time. It doesn't bother me. I point to the spot and tell them where to find it the easiest, and they usually get it the first time. I've only had one time ever in my life, and that's when I was in the ER. They hauled me in on the ambulance and had a girl, young girl. She must have been like an intern or a newbie or something. She came to draw blood when I was in the ER, and she stabbed me, and I come off the table, and I'm sure people on the third floor heard me yelling. But she went around the side of my arm, and she got around too far here around the elbow, and she stabbed a nerve.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, there was nothing I could do. The pain was like somebody just stabbed me with an ice pick,
Yeah.
and she ran off. I never seen that girl ever again. I mean, she ran
You
out of the
scared the
room.
bejesus out of her.
And my arm and my fingers and my hand and everything was numb for 6 months after she stabbed that nerve.
Oh, wow.
I was worried, but I did some research, and I guess it happens quite a bit. But if they ever go near my elbow and go around that corner, They're not getting that needle in.
Right?
Learned my lesson on that one. They
But
got
yeah,
too
I
many
mean,
people that
the
just don't know anything. They're just learning and they just cut them loose.
yeah, the risks associated with my wife's job too are just they're. I mean, she's dodged so many bullets for so long. At some point, she's like, my luck's going to run out
Yeah.
because she's been stuck by a needle because things happened. She's
Right.
like, you never know. You could be dealing with a patient that's HIV positive. You know, you could end up getting something. It's like,
Well, that's good. She's going to get to move up to another job. She'll like that.
yeah, it's probably going to be initially a lateral move, financially speaking,
Right.
but has a much higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Whereas at right now, the job she's at the ceiling.
Yeah.
She's
Phlebotomist, a
she's
lot
already
of
at
people
the ceiling.
use that as a way to get their foot in the door.
Yeah. She's already at the ceiling. She's making as much money as you can make being a phlebotomist. She's been with Quest Diagnostics now for it'll be 15 years in January.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I'm in trouble.
Alrighty. Let's see. What can we? Yeah, I'll bet that is a pain, Vince. No, most of the trouble she's run into sticking people is anytime she's had to pull any duty at nursing homes. Old men are the worst. Uh, Old men can be some of the biggest babies there are. I guess one of these days I'll be an old man, God willing. I'm on my way there, but I think I'm gonna be, try to be more mindful of myself and be better than that. That's another vehicle that I want to get done at some point. Only personnel carrier, and then I use the same blank for the body to build. Oh god, this is going to take a while to load. To build the hauler. This thing is just a beast. Huge. What did we say it was? It was uh, yeah,
Yeah.
it is over a meter in length,
Wow.
like, on the trailer. 1.05 meters is how long the trailer is. So I have to borrow the FK1 from Glenn to print the trailer in one piece. Otherwise, I got to slice the trailer up into a bunch of parts. Don't get in too much of a hurry. Yeah, the functional VSV was kind of a sidetrack project. It sidetracked me. I didn't even expect to do it. I just one day I was like, can I do it? Can I make steering and suspension? And that was all because the springs I made for the Scorpion made me ask the question, can I do it? And I believe the answer is yes. It's not perfect, but the answer is yes. Yeah, a belt printer would be nice for it too. Yeah. Get one of the people who got their hands on a printer belt before printer bot went under to let me borrow it. Although of the printer belts that are in the wild, I don't know of any that are printing. Has anybody heard? Yeah, maybe I'll just send Glenn the filament and say, dude, can you print this for me and mail it back to me? I wonder how long it would take to print that 1.05 meters long. Because his bed is 1.2 meters in length. So, I mean, it's almost full length for his bed. Yeah, the only person I know that has a printer belt is Pooch, and he sent it to Tinkers. And Tinkers was trying to make it work because Tinkers is good at that stuff. That's why his name is Tinkers. What are you doing, Joseph? Quit. Oh man, yeah. If it failed midway through the print, because imagine how much filament this thing would take. I mean, I don't even have a. I have a clue. I'd have to create a custom print profile just to fit it onto a bed. I have to create a print profile for the FK1, even though I don't have one, and then export it and bring it in and slice it and see. I know it would take some time, and I know it would take some filament. Spare tires. Those are spare tires, John. You seen those military trucks that this is supposed to be a futuristic version of? They mount their spare tires right there.
Well, if it's futuristic, then why don't they have run flat tires? You don't need spares.
That's so if somebody melted one of your others with a laser.
Oh, okay.
Run flats would be useless even against a laser. You just melt the whole thing. But yeah, that day that I posted on Twitter, that's still my most popular tweet to date. When I posted this picture, the rendered version of this picture right here, to give an idea of scale of this beast, because 3 of my VSV Jeeps fit on the trailer, on the flat part of the trailer. That's not even putting anything up there. And that is my most popular Twitter post. I was looking at that yesterday, my Twitter analytics. And I was like, that is my most popular Twitter post I've ever made, was a 3D render of this image right here with the 3 VSVs sitting on the back of this truck. It got me thinking, I was like, "I really need to, sit down and finish this truck now and start printing it then." Because if people are that interested in it, and the tweet blew up, so people obviously were interested in it. I need to make it a reality and see if people are as interested in it when it's a physical object. But just looking at the scale of this thing, how much bigger the wheels and tires are than the wheels and tires on the Jeep, I'm like, "This thing's gonna take a lot of filament. I need to find a filament sponsor." There you go. It's taking it out of a orthographic view and getting the perspective view. Hopefully, I'm not totally killing my computer right now because I just told it to render.
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Didn't that thing look like fun? Just so much filament, though. That's probably going to be easily $50, $60 worth of filament.
Never Let the Machines Win asked if you could print that vertically on the little monster.
Uh, what's the little monster's build height? Because it's over 1 meter in height or in length. So if you printed it vertically, you would need 1 meter. The search for the new computer is pretty well settled. I know what computer I want. I'm just waiting for my royalty check to come in January to go buy it. Of course, I'll keep an eye out if a better deal comes along. Right now, there's no plans of steering for this truck. There is plans of a bit of a suspension gimmick. Yeah, I guess if 500 is the print height on the little monster, then you'd have to break it into 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Yeah, because 500 is just 1.05 meters. So you have to break it into 3 pieces. Yeah, I have, there's 3 computers that I like, and I know right where to get all 3 of them. Which one I get will just depend on how big the royalty check is, because I won't know until I get it. Cool, man. The most expensive one, if the royalty check is a big one, is, uh is probably more computer than I need. It's the, Core i9 9900K, with, 16 gig of RAM and a 2070, I believe it is, NVIDIA. 8 gigabyte graphics card. So if the royalty check's a good one, I'll get that, and then I'll just be done with it because it'll be more computer than I need. Because a Core i9 with a 2070 graphics card, 8 gig graphics card. The only thing that I would say is a negative to it is it starts with 16 gig of RAM, but it's upgradable up to 64. So from the store, it has 16 gig, which will be enough to get me started. But yeah, I got to redo the suspension because when I originally started designing this, it was before I had a 3D printer and didn't know some things wouldn't work. So yeah, I thought about doing that too. I thought about buying parts slowly and putting one together. But then I also thought as I sat down and I started adding up all the parts that I couldn't build a computer for what I can just buy one off the shelf for anymore. They don't there's no significant savings anymore. It works out even catching some deals to be about the same amount of money to build one as it is to buy one. Hi, Clyde. But yeah, the really high end one that I was looking at, it was like $1,700, 1,750, I think, and that's the Core i9 and NVIDIA 2070 graphics card. So yeah, if my royalty check is that big, that's what I'm going to do. If it's not, there's another one I'm looking at. The lowest end one I'm looking at is like $700. So if the royalty check isn't good, the lowest end one's like $700, and it's a Core i5 with 8 gig of RAM and a 1060 3 gig card. And it's like neighborhood of 700, I think 679, I think. So I've looked, I've got ones picked out for 3 different levels of how good is my royalty check. Is my royalty check real good? Because my wife has already said that royalty check can be used in its entirety to buy you a computer. I'm like, okay, cool. So if the royalty check is really good computer. If the royalty check is not, low end computer. But it'll still be better than what I got. It'll still be an upgrade and allow me to it'll handle Blender 2.8, which this one is presently not.
I don't even know what mine is.
This machine is a AMD A6 or A8, I forget. But anyway, it's got a 2 gig graphics card in it. Radeon R5, 2 gig graphics card in it.
I think that's what I need more than anything. I don't think mine has a graphics card in it. I think it's just on board on the motherboard.
Yeah, I bought this graphics card at Best Buy for $49.99. It was cheap. Big change on Wiley's 3D. Find out tomorrow. Oh, there you go.
Uh-oh.
Big change. You find a place to live? That's a big change. We live streaming from the new house.
Yeah, that's kind of mean. Drop a bomb like that and not tell us.
Right? We'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow. I'm a patient guy. Yeah, I forget. I think this processor is the A8. Could be wrong. I forget. I forget where
There
I'm
we
going
go.
to see.
Mine is an Intel i5 7400 3 gigahertz with 16 gig of RAM. That's it. I'm so out of touch with computers anymore. I built
Yeah, I'm
them.
not near into it like I used to be.
Right.
I
Same with
used to
me.
build my own computers, and
Yep. Same here.
oh, it's the A6. It's an A6 6400K.
This one only cost me $300 at Fry's.
Well,
About a year old.
this one was free. It was getting thrown away, and Red Light sent it to me.
Well, you can't beat that.
Yeah. And it's a single core 2 logical processor. So it's one physical core.
I don't see it on here, but I thought mine was 4 cores. i5. I don't know.
Later, Scalda.
It works. That's all I care.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to wrap things up here anyway. We're past the 2-hour mark. Phenom 2. This is an A6, and it's a, like I said, Radeon R5 graphics card, 2 gig with 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm not sure where the bottleneck is for it, but I know Blender 2.8 was a little much for it to handle because it was choppy, and the graphics kept glitching on me throughout as I was doing stuff. So, um, and rendering really sucked. So I'm like, okay, I guess the system requirements have bumped up a little bit in Blender 2.8, and as such, probably its minimum requirements are at this system's limitations. I don't know, but I got a jet because I got to get things ready. I got uh, an appointment at noon, and I got some text messages to make today to band members and whatnot about some upcoming gigs and stuff. So I got to go handle my real business, the stuff that
All
pays
right.
the bills.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and log out of here then and let you go.
All right, appreciate you guys hanging with us today, and we'll see you tomorrow on Mike Whaley's stream for something new.
Yep. See everybody later. Bye bye.
Later, guys.